We've hunted 150 boxes so far in this penny hunt and fill series. Thankfully, the last couple of boxes I had in my last hunt were from California, and we managed to find a few early teens with S mint marks to get us to 200 cents slotted. Now we still have 34 more cents to slot, so we're going to continue on with this hunt and fill series until we can get as far as possible or until we just cannot find any more cents in our boxes after several hunts. That being said, stay tuned for episode 83, boxes 151 and 152. Hey everyone, it's RobFindsTreasure. Welcome back to my channel. Like I said in the intro, another 2-box penny hunt for you today, and hopefully we can find some earlier cents, but more importantly, maybe some 30 cents. We have not found very many 30s, and even when I get cents that are slottable in my album, we just don't have many 30s on the board. Now that being said, if you're new to the channel or new to the series, feel free to check out the entire playlist that I have linked both down below in the video description as well as pinned up here for your convenience, starting at box number 1. Now for today's hunt, we're going to slide the book out of the way. Of course, we don't need it right now. We will compare any finds to the book to see if we have any upgrades or additions. But in the meantime, I'm ready to get the hunt started. I'm going to take the card off here. I've already checked. These are the boxes that have the holes in the bottom, and we have 100 circulated cent rolls. So we've got our fair share of rolls to go through. I'm going to kick it off with a live box opening on this first box. And when we finish this box, we'll do a live opening on the second box. These penny boxes have been giving me fits lately opening, but you know what? I'd rather do it live in case we have something epic, although that's rarely the case. You just never know what you might come across. Well, I don't see any wheat cent enders. Of course, I've missed them, but I don't see any. I see a few copper cents, but it definitely looks like maybe a tough hunt. We'll have to see. All right, let's go ahead and start cracking rolls. And as always, as soon as I have a find, I'll bring you guys in for a peek at what we got. Well, it's not going to take long because I just cracked open roll number 1 and flattened them out. And I believe right there, we've got a wheat cent. So wheat cent 1 comes in roll 1 towards the back of the roll. And it does look like it could be older, but it's just going to be a 1946 Philadelphia. We'll take it. 1's on the board. First roll in. Roll number 7 is going to give us wheat cent number 2, and it's our favorite year for nickels. 1950 Denver. Don't need it for cents though, and really don't need it for the Series 1 nickel book anymore, but we could always use more. Let's get back to the hunt though. Roll number 12, we have our third wheat cent. Obverse facing 1948 Denver. Roll 18, wheat cent number 4. This one is another 1946 Philadelphia. Roll number 21, and wheat cent number 5 is going to be our oldest wheat cent we have found, and that's going to be a 1944S. We'll take that. Roll number 30, wheat cent number 6 got some damage on it, and that's going to be another 44S. We'll take it. 44 is the oldest so far. 6 finds, 20 more rolls of box 1. Roll number 43. We have made it to the 7th wheat cent of the box. Wheat cent 7 is a 1951D. Looks like we're kind of just hovering in those 40s and 50s, late 40s, early 50s, but that's about it so far. 7 on the board, 7 rolls left. Well, we finished box 1. It was definitely a light box for finds. Only 7 wheat cents, surprisingly none in the later 50s, and of course, nothing in the 30s or earlier. The oldest were 44S's, and we found 2 of those. As far as side finds, no foreigns, no 59s, no 69S's, just a decent 1962 Denver that I'll go ahead and keep because I don't know how many of those I have in my personal rolls. As far as copper is concerned, 2 pounds, 5 ounces, so a little bit higher than we had been getting in copper, but definitely nothing to brag about. Box 1 is down. Let me clear away the box, slide box 2 over, and fingers crossed we find some more wheat cents for the board. All right, box number 2. Hopefully it's a slightly better box. We could use some wheat cents, and with 7, be nice to get 13 in the box, although anything north of 10 would make me happy. All right, let's take a quick peek and make sure I don't miss anything and I don't see anything, but it does look like there might be a little more copper in this box, and that looks like a nice older copper cent, or maybe it's in the 80s, but either way, we'll have to take a look and see what's inside the rolls. All right, you guys know what'll happen next. I'll see you on my first find. Roll number 2 of box 2 is going to give us our first wheat cent of the box, 8th for the hunt. It's going to be a 1953 with a San Francisco mint mark. It's nice seeing some San Francisco mints, although we need them a little bit older. Roll number 62 of the 100 roll hunt, and we're going to have our first Canadian cent, and it's going to be a 1979. And while I have you here, not that I'm going to keep them, but this box has had a lot of really nice 99 all the way back to 1992 Denver cents. And of course, I'm checking for any Philadelphia and all of the 92 Ds and the 95s for any of the DDOs or close AMs and things like that. But I just want to give you a heads up. I won't be keeping them. We don't need them. But man, these are just the most recent ones. I bet you there's probably 10 or 12 of each of these years in uncirculated condition so far in the discard. So the box definitely has maybe a 90s dump. I don't know if that's even a thing, but it feels like it. I'm blabbering. Let's get back to the hunt, find some wheats. We are on roll number 77, and we finally have wheat cent number 9. So we're averaging 1 wheat cent every 8.5 rolls. And that's going to be a 1958 Denver, last year wheat cent. Roll number 79, wheat cent number 10 for double digits. Only the third of the box, and that's going to be a 1952 Denver for the board. Well, that second box was pretty much a dud as far as wheat cents, but it was a fun hunt because we had so many 90s coins in there that were in uncirculated condition. I did get to scope a lot for varieties. Unfortunately, none of the varieties that I looked for were found. That being said, I'll always take a nice fun variety hunt over a couple of 40s and 50s wheat cents all day. Total wheat cents found for the 100 roll hunt is only 10, and again, nothing older than 1944, so definitely a rough hunt. And judging by the condition and the years of mints we have, I can tell you right now we're not going to have any upgrades for sure. We did find a Canadian cent. I'll take that. 359s finally in that second box. Some bright and shinies. We got a 62 Denver, a 69 Denver, and a 71 Denver, and 169S, which was beautiful. That'd have been nice if it was the DDO, but it wasn't. As far as copper, another good copper cup. That box had 2 pounds and 9 ounces in it, which now gives us 4 pounds and 14 ounces. So almost 5 pounds of copper from 2 boxes in my area. So despite having a lot of copper, just not a lot of wheat cents. I am going to compare what I found to the book, although I know we don't have any upgrades or additions. So if I don't have any of that, and because it was a light hunt, I'll go ahead and give you a little bit longer look at the book when I come back. As expected, nothing for the book this time. So now, after 152 boxes hunted, we're stuck at 200 out of 234 cents found. That being said, I said I would give you a little bit closer look at the book. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll just give you a quick panorama of the nice cents we have. Most of the 90s and 80s and 70s are really nice. We could use a better 82 small date copper cent. Definitely would like to get one of those. I was surprised I found a 70S small date copper cent. Unfortunately, it's in brown condition, but tough find and we'll take it. We still need a 1960 small date. That's a tough find. We'll have to see if we can get one. I do have one in my personal book, but not one for this album yet. We also could use a better 74S. 74S's are tough mints for me to find. It'd be nice to get a nice red example in the book. This is somewhat red, but it does have a little bit of discoloration, and it's more red-brown. As far as going to the wheat cents, you guys remember we found that blank planchet, and I did put it in the book, so we definitely have that. But we do have some red wheat cents, but not many. And of course, we need more steel cents. Going into the 30s, still need a 38S, a 33D, a 32D, a 31S, which is going to be almost impossible. Even the 1932 is a tough date. We need a couple of San Francisco minted 20s right here, as well as back here. And then it just gets tougher and tougher, except for some of the more minted coins like a 1911. But if we're not finding 30s and older in our boxes, it's going to get tough to fill some of these spots, even though they're findable cents. Hopefully you guys got a decent look at the book. I know this wasn't really a fun hunt for you, although it was kind of a fun hunt behind the scenes for me because I got to scope a lot of scents like I mentioned earlier. If you did enjoy this 2-box hunt, I definitely would appreciate that thumbs up. And as always, everyone, happy hunting and thanks for watching.